Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
This is the Great Legend, and I'm coming at you live from the Golden Guys. We got JD Comics in the house, DS Comics, and Knights of Old chilling on the West Coast beaches. Man, what's going on, JD?
Great to have you here, Legend. Thanks for joining us here. We are just like the Golden Guys, Golden Girls without all the sex appeal. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Cheesecakes around for everybody. And Knights of Old doing his modeling shoot out there. We kind of been interrupting the swimsuit issue of Golden Guys.
I'm at the edge
that calendar will be available coming in 2021 calendar.
Man, it's like House of Secrets 94. If y'all didn't know that issue, it's where Knights of Old's got the Speedo on out there.
There you go. How we doing, Mike?
Pretty good. I'm at the edge of civilization up here, the San Juan Islands up in Seattle, and up at searching for some Canadian whites up here. I'm as close to Canada as I'm willing to get. There's Victoria that way.
Yep. Nice. What's going on, DS? How are you doing?
I am doing well. I've just been picking up some stuff, trying to I haven't really bought any Golden Age stuff, but I've been watching these auctions and the market's crazy and it's just been a lot of fun lately. So yeah.
I'm saving up for a big boy book, a book for myself that I might be able to get, that I'm excited about getting. We're in negotiations right now, so looks like it might work out. Yeah. So we're gonna start off the show with a little bit of show and tell. Knights, you keep your pants on, but if you brought anything with you, that'd be great. But I'd like to start with the first one. I want to do a show. DS, love for you to show what you just showed a little while ago.
All right, yeah. So this is not a comic book, but I've told some other people I've been looking at this comic store that closed down 20 years ago, and he sold off all the massive books and put everything else into storage units. And I've been going through it every week as he processes, opens boxes. I've been able to go over there and grab some really cool stuff. I'm not going to show everything. This is one of them I just have close. This is like a 9/8, never read, never bought, Kira 1 first print. But what I want to show that I picked up is this. This came out the year he closed. So he got this and then closed down. This is 1999 Frazetta hardcover slipcase edition. It's in this plastic sleeve, but inside it's still in the original cellophane, the factory sealed cellophane, and it's in perfect shape. It's never been opened. And these were limited to 2,500. This is the first edition of this. It has some previously unpublished Frazetta art in it, and they're hand numbered inside with a stamped Frazetta signature and like a foil embossed cover, I understand. I'm probably gonna sell this, but it's killing me because I really want to crack that cellophane off and open it up and take a look at the stuff in here, but it's just too valuable as it is sealed with a really like mint condition seal on it. So and it's it's in this nice like poly bag too. So this is a really cool item. You don't see these too often, and it's still sealed. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this. And it's just killing me. I really want to open it, but I'm not gonna.
Nice, great stuff. I mean, I think we all can admit we're all Frazetta fans here. I'm a big fan of. My favorite Frazetta stuff is obviously the painted covers from Erie and Creepy from the Warren Publishing, from Jim Warren's. That's always been my bread and butter, as well as his sketch work he did with the Conans and a few other characters he liked to draw on the side. Death Eater, of course.
Yeah, Death Eater's cool.
Yeah. Now, Legend.
I think.
Death Dealer. Sorry.
Death Dealer, yeah.
Yeah. Death Eater's Harry Potter, I think.
Yeah.
Man, I got some big boy books to show. on the Golden Guys tonight. Now, this is from a Comic Link auction that was a while back, and I was getting these bad boys at 3 freaking figures, man. I had some great deals on these big boys here, but, man, there's some nice books. I'm going to start out with the old, look at that damn sticker. I ain't took the sticker off yet, Diaz. I'm going to get that damn thing off, though. And I kind of fumbled with it. I don't think it's going to be on too bad. So, a little blow dryer for a little while on the back, and that should get it. But we got the old Captain Marvel, number 26 here. Beautiful American flag cover. Always wanted this bad boy. Off white to white pages. Auto binder, Al Lieberman stories. CC Beck, Al Lieberman artwork. CC Beck cover. You know how the Double C used to do it back in the day. But, man, this is the chapter 5 of the Monster Society of Evil serial. And this is, on this case, it says Mr. Mind revealed as a worm, but really that's the next issue. I think they're kind of confused on the labels, but they call it Mr. Mind revealed as worm, but it's actually Mr. Mind's first physical appearance in the book itself. So freaking happy to have that one right there. And then next up, we got some more Golden Age goodness. I got the 4.5 second. And I already have one of these. I got one of these at 3.0, but this is number 27 here. Really good book. Presents freaking awesome. And I'm going to show you the next one in a minute. And it's kind of weird because I got another one of these, and the grade is higher on the next one. But this is chapter 6, Monster Society of Evil. This time you got Otto Binder and Mark Swayze story. So old school Otto Binder, one of the originals on the Wiz too. And you got CC Beck cover and art, but it's part 6, and this is supposed to be the issue where Captain Marvel finally finds out that the Mr. Mind was a worm the whole time, even though it says first physical appearance of Mr. Mind. So like I said, but just to have both of those in the PC, man, that was the big, probably one of the last big Fawcett, those 2 books, some of the last big Fawcett keys that I'm going to be wanting for the personal collection. Then I got this bad boy. This one looks really good too. It's a 5.5 CBCS. That's an off-white to white. What is this one here? This was an off-white to white. The Fawcetts, man, if you kept them in somewhat decent condition, they always get that off-white to white pretty much. But this is a 5.5. And the only problem with this one is it has a little bit of a little piece missing here in the corner. And then up in this corner, I don't know if you can see it well, but it's almost like someone dropped it on its corner and it kind of got crumpled there. But, man, it looks really good, like a little back action. Gets a little Tootsie if you want to get some little Tootsie action there, a little Tootsie roll. But this is where he joins the Navy. And if you're a fan or, someone that's been in the Navy or the Armed Services, this is one of the books they need to get right there. And, of course,
what year?
This one here, 1943, September 43. So, man, just in that good freaking World War II action. Not that it was good, but there was some action. And then they got the American flag cover. So in the 43, and the Golden Guys know that, man, they was all about their country, showing support for that red, white, and blue. This one here. Oh, yeah. Show them together.
Group. I love the groups.
Man, we got 26 and 27 right there.
Oh, yeah. That's
just
great.
Freaking Captain Marvels. I've never, I see a lot of YouTubers, hang their slabs on the walls and all that kind of stuff. I mean, like, I would love to do that with all the Fawcetts, but then again, people see that on my screen. They're going to want to come to the house and rob me. So that's why I always keep them hidden in the closets, man. But this one here, now this was a cream to off-white one here. I had to get it. I mean, it was so cheap. It was in the 100 and whatever range, but it was Captain Marvel Adventures 79, Talkie Tawny's first appearance, man. Had to get that one.
That's the one we were talking about.
And I have a raw version of this, and of course, Talkie Tawny fans is Billy's buddy, the talking tiger. He's always kind of like Shazam the Wizard's right-hand man to go make sure Billy and the Marvel family are doing good and staying out of trouble and stuff. But just a 7 freaking .0 for
is
first.
Is that him on the cover?
No, this is just some old stage guy. They're on stage, doing some vaudeville wannabe stuff there. It looks like.
The dude with the tiger, like the full-on tiger head, right?
Yeah, the tiger head guy.
That guy's
Now
cool.
this dude's some kind of knockoff Ed Grimley. Look at that haircut right there. But and then on the back, look at this. Everyone loved those Daisy air shot rifles. There's a little kid ready to go to town and everything like that. So, man, but just beautiful condition here. Not much wrong with this. There's a couple little chips on the side over here, like a little white there, a little white there. But I mean, damn, that's great quality right there, man. So 7.0 there. So yeah, I had 4 faucets, and pretty much I'm only looking for 2 more faucets. I'm looking for the first appearance of the Lieutenant Marvels, and then I'm looking for that Wow Comics 18 in a real good copy. That's of course Uncle Dudley's first appearance. So
Uncle Dudley, nice.
Comic
I
Link,
did
what
get
I love
one
about
book.
Comic Link, man. Comic Link's good stuff. It's just those damn stickers, JD.
I'm not a fan. I used to try to peel them off. I gave up. So I did get a book off the boards, and I'm going to show it. It looks better than it's even better than it looks. This is
Nice.
This is Jumbo Comics number 998. This is one I had before in a really wrinkled copy. This one, don't let the Mylar fool you. It's as pretty as it is. There's only 2 blemishes on the whole thing. One is right here, right by the elephant here, and one is on this side here. And I asked him about it. He goes, it hung like this. And he told me the story about it, that he went through and he said, hey, I found this Jumbo for you, and I think Mr. Jumbo Comics will enjoy this. I'm going to shout out that chat. Well, I'm going to introduce the chat, I should say. And this is just one of the, it's probably the largest Sheena cover that's not Sheena. I mean, she's fully on from the corner down here all the way to the top of the book up here with the spear. And if you look carefully, there's a nice little gun pointing at her too. So she's not killing the elephant, she's killing the rider. But it's got the skull right there. I don't know if it counts as skull cover, but very happy with this cover. The colors on it pop, which if you collect Fiction House, first thing to go is colors. This has got the blue, and it's natural fading. There's no real fading on it. The Jumbo's in bright red. The blue's in the background. This color pops. It looks really, really good. And her headlights are just right there on the M. So we're a big fan of that. Getting that off the boards. The guy just sent me a text and said, hey, I found this on the boards. You might want it. And it really has very little spine wear. No chipping. Not that it would be chipping, but nothing really there. Sharp, bright very sharp corners. I mean, I almost said, does it look trim to you? He's like, no, it's perfect. He goes, so that's it. The only one, he did have another Jumbo Comics that was really nice, but we're working on coming up with a deal with that. Very, very early, single digit. So very excited about that.
That's freaking awesome, dude.
Working on that with him. So that's part of that Foster collection here. But let's just bring out that chat right here. First one in the chat, one of our favorites right now, has been a big fan. Ruben Guzman, thanks a lot for being here, Cowabunga fan. Barrett316 says, I'm not first, but I'm definitely not last. And then you got Jambo, great having him here. Ricky Marset, always good. DS is in the chat. Emperor's Collectibles, great having you here. Thank you very much for being here. Do it. Comic Mag Musings, hello, gang. Hello to you. We got our stream bot checking us out here, making sure everybody's okay. Konnichiwa, Mr. Titus, rising from the rising sun. Very good to hear from you. And we next up on there, we've got good to see you, Titus. So look at that, Hail Hydra.
Hey, we got Wonder Woman down in the bottom left corner.
Oh, nice.
Say hi.
Hi.
Hey,
What's up?
how
Good
are
to
you?
see you.
Good.
Hey, I love your
Good.
Wonder Woman comic collection.
Thank you.
It's freaking
I need
awesome.
number 9. I'm looking for a good number 9. I lost
Say
out on
hi,
one in
JD,
Canada.
And hi, DS. And hi, Great Legend.
Hi, Great Legend. Hi, JD. And who? And DS.
Hello.
Nice. Samuel David. Hello, everybody. Good evening here. Having a cup of coffee with everybody.
All right. You better go to bed.
One of my favorite quotes of the day has to be, y'all sit here with thump your modern spec books and say Kate's can do no wrong. And it gets you nowhere. Talk about your Venom and you talk about your Venom 316. But Barrett 316 says, gold whoops spec ass. I love that.
Hell yeah, he
We hear. Here, my friend. Here. We always that G-Man Collectibles. Great having you here in the chat. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate you here. Ricky, JD, I can see 1,000 pixels. That's great. Mark 69 is here. Jambo, that's nice. I have that one, just not that nice. No worry, Jambo. It's fun. Oh, that would be a nice one to get. Yeah, I'm working on that single-digit fiction house, which any single-digit fiction house, they're hard to find. Think of the planet rivets, verse 9 of rivets. So that's there. We've got everybody right here now.
No.
So a topic we could chat about right now is comic music.
Wait a minute.
We could
She
talk.
says,
I said I'm Wonder Woman. I just had to shoo a bat out of the cabin.
Nice.
That's right.
Nice having you
That's
here, Anna Prince herself. Thank you very much for being here. Excellent. Well,
the princess.
nice enjoying the stuff, having a great time showing us everything. Whoa, what about me? Bubs Comics is in the chat. No Faces chat. Bubs is here.
Bub.
Loving his stuff.
There's Bub.
Great
Fish
having him
Tropic in the house. What about old Fish Tropic?
Oh,
Fish
nice.
Tropic.
Fish Tropic
I
is
can
in the
get you
house.
some
There he is.
Right down there.
you very much. And NC Slapjacks. Hello, everyone. Good having you here. Great crowd. So, I don't know. We didn't really have anything. We had a few things we were going to talk right here. I was going to ask somebody here, non-superhero character, Golden Age. Give me your Rushmore. Non-superhero. Can't have superpowers.
Okay.
So it's a tough one. Let you mull on that one and think. And I've already come up with my list. And it's definitely
Is
Sheena.
Well, what about like Planet Comics? Like, does that qualify as a non-superhero?
Well, I mean, like, I don't want to hear Batman, Superman, Shazam, or Captain Marvel and Captain America. Because that would probably be the Human Torch, maybe.
How about
Wonder Woman, absolutely.
But she's got superpowers.
That's Michael. That's
Phantom
Michael's.
Stranger. Hourman,
yeah.
Dr. Fate.
Yeah,
But one of the, I was going along the lines of like the Crypt Keeper would be one as a recurring character. Sheena would be one. I would say would be up there for me. Sheena and Wonder Woman. I don't know who exactly was first. Have their
Shadow.
Shadow. Yeah, he's a detective. But just throwing it out there. If anybody likes it, Dick Tracy, great call, Fish Tropic. Thank you very much for that.
Fish Tropic.
I showed that book a couple of times. I did get that I did get the whole intro of all the characters, all the villains. I got all their first appearances in that hardcover book that I was very happy to get.
Damn, Bub's got
I'm
one of mine
shocked
too.
at
Bub
that.
said
Conan, great.
Bub's got like two of mine in there.
Yep. Conan
Bub
there,
got a
Spirit.
timely.
Spinach is a
Bub
drug.
got a
This is
timely
great.
book. Can you believe that?
Yep.
Oh, Bub,
Time.
you got a time? Oh, that's right. I saw it on the No Faces chat. Right.
Bub's
Nero's got a lot of heroes that don't have powers, like Black Terror doesn't really have any powers. Fighting
Yeah.
Yank doesn't have any powers. Those guys just go out and kick some ass. They don't have any powers. I think Doc Strange has some powers.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He's got super strength. I don't know what else I don't know. Is he able to fly or jump really high or something? But yeah, most of those Nidor guys don't have powers.
Nice. Sheena, Rula, Phantom Lady, great call. Jambo's going with the ladies. I love that. Rula, the Jungle Girl, great call. Ben Compton threw out Tarzan. G-Man Club said The Clock. That's a good one, too. John Carter, great one. First appears in Pulps. Like that. Archie, great call. Archie's a great reoccurring character. You can go with the Disney. You can go with Donald, Uncle Scrooge.
And you got the sci-fi guys. You got Buck Rogers. You got
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon.
Yeah. I mean, so it's something out there. Who do you like? What do you collect? And that's pretty much what it is. But one of the dilemmas I run into, I recently run into was like some of the, in the Silver Age where everybody's so crazy about first appearances. In the Golden Age, I think honestly to say that first appearance in the Golden Age for some characters is so hard and rare to find, i.e. Solomon Grundy is my, I live there. Catman is a good one, great one. Two Gun Kid, Ringo Kid. You can do Two Gun Kid, Ringo Kid, Apache Kid, Cowboy Kid, Kid Colt Outlaw.
Kid Colt Outlaw, yeah.
Yep.
How about
That's
that Lone Ranger?
Lone Ranger's good.
Rider, Lone Ranger. Lone
Cowboys are all awesome.
Did Lone Ranger first appear? Did Lone Ranger
radio.
first appear in a? He was radio first, like the Shadow was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Lone Ranger's first comic book appearance was what was it? What was it called? Hi-O Silver?
Yeah, it had the house silver cover. I mean, it's a
Like a blue cover.
it's reasonable. It's a reasonable.
Yeah, it is, and it's old. It's like God, I don't know what year it is, but it goes pretty far back. But I think it's called Hi-O Silver.
Yeah, they have one on eBay, I think.
And there's a one with an ice cream cone on it, which was a giveaway. Is a really early Tarzan too, I think, or a really easy or early Lone Ranger. It was like I don't know, like a Mr. Freezy giveaway or whatever it was at the time. It has an ice cream cone on it, and then like a lasso, and then the Lone Ranger. And that one's dirt cheap too, and it's a super cool early appearance. It's just a nice little novelty too.
Nice.
They've got a nice one that's like a 1948 when it's not the Hi-O Silver. It's just like one of the first ones from like Dell, I think.
Yeah. Well, the Dell Tarzan, if you find one, I recently looked through a collection, and it had some Tarzans in it, and they were in really nice shape, and the colors really popped. It just has really good, almost like Disney level bright primary color stuff on those Lone Ranger books. It really looked good.
This is my
pictures on eBay until you see it in your hand, and then it's totally different.
This was a nice little find a couple of months back, but I always show this as my Tarzan, my favorite Edgar Rice Burroughs art in here, and great condition. These are the Dell Giants. These are not as this is a great book in there, and I will say this. I mean, I'm going to show it because I might as well show everything that's in there, but the artwork on the inside, I really hate this. I started triple taping some of these things down to keep the. We had a flood in our area, but this is nice here. But this is a full color on the inside here, and it is. By the way, if you want to know the condition of it, it is pristine. And white pages all throughout.
That's total 9.4 right there, man.
Yeah, it's a beauty. But I like the. This is 1951. So the Tree of Ages starts here. It's a nice little book, Dell Giant 20.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I love the I normally don't like big trade dresses or anything, but that has that massive stamp on the upper left with the price in it, and it's you never see that's super cool. You normally wouldn't like stuff like that, but that's so unique to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And on the backs of all of them, they have just like the pin up on the back, or right there, Tarzan chasing everybody down with Jane chilling. Tarzan, Jane, boy. So, little Johnny Weissmuller, The Courage of Penitently. I mean, these are great books if you can find them. The Dell, I think that's a great call. What he brought up is the Dell Tarzans. I'm going to talk a lot about that there. Mr. Gretzky, 996.
Are you going to go back to that pulp guy's house who has all the pulps? And find me a 1912 first appearance of Tarzan?
Yeah, about 30 grand to start.
It
is
the 30 grand. You should jump on it. I'll tell you.
It is the hardest. Well, it is like the highest. I mean, everybody, the biggest pulps. First Conan, first Tarzan, first Flash Gordon. I mean, those are the big ones.
What's the Conan? Weird Tales 1? Is that Conan?
Yeah. Yep. And I'm just talking to a guy about it because he has one. and
No
he
Conan on the cover though, which is pretty lame.
no Conan on the cover, but it is
Yeah, that whole story is action one of Pulps.
I don't think so. Yeah.
one of the pulps I wanted to where's Tarzan? I think it might be in here. One of the books I had here, the October 1912 first appearance, the All Story. Good luck on that one. Adam Link, January 39 is a great, amazing stories. Then there's first appearance of Buck Rogers is amazing stories from August of 1928.
Oh, damn.
First appearance of Zorro is 1919 All Stories Weekly. And he's not on the cover there.
What about the Shadow?
David Ennis.
We got Carlito
Shadow.
Classico in the house, man. It's good to see Carlito.
Well, they do a Shadow. There's an H.P. Lovecraft Shadow, a whole book on that called Astonish. I think it's not it's Astounding from 1936. That's that one.
I
The
think
one that I was talking to somebody about is the first appearance of Sam Spade for any Maltese Falcon Humphrey Bogart fans. September of 29.
Buck Rogers too. Astounding 1928 is the first Buck Rogers, I think.
I think you might be correct. First Doc Savage is March of 33.
Ooh,
First
I love
Buck
that
Rogers is amazing. First
So
Buck
good.
Rogers is amazing stories. Amazing stories.
Oh, amazing stories. That's right.
Yep.
1928. though.
Yep. Very
We gotta
rare.
do
Then
like
there's
a book
Fight Story.
club too. Like
And then,
we gotta get
October-
first Dracula.
Oh
First
yeah.
Dracula and
Dracula.
Frankenstein.
First Dracula is Eerie 17.
Well, no, I mean book.
Yeah, he means first appearance anywhere.
Bram Stoker,
First, you mean
1891.
first edition Bram Stoker, Tales of a Drunken
Yeah.
Irishman? I don't know about that one.
JD,
that's
you gotta
probably-
get that one. It's not. You could buy it. Come on.
What would you get?
Oh, the first.
Legends?
Now, the Lone Ranger did have.
first edition Dracula for sale. I saw recently a first edition Bram Stoker's Dracula for sale, and it's
Nice.
not as expensive as you would think, honestly.
That book right there,
I mean,
man.
Hen-
That Lone Ranger right there from 48. That's a nice issue one. It's first Dell one.
Yeah, that's cool.
I would love to
First,
get that.
first pulp appearance of Lone Ranger is a Lone Ranger pulp, actually, and it's
Okay.
from 1937.
Wow.
And it's got him on the cover. So if you're interested in that one, look for it. It's called The Lone Ranger 10-cent Pulp, April of 1937. First appearance of Kazar.
Oh,
what'd you
all
get?
right.
What would you get, Legend, for first book?
Oh, like for first book. Dude,
Yeah.
how about that first Bible, man? Damn. That'd be
that's-
pretty cool. Well, as far as
the
like,
Magna
man,
Carta or some shit.
shoot, I don't know, man. I don't know what I'd get. Like, are you talking like
I
pulps?
if I were to get a first edition of a book,
Yeah.
I would get The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway.
I'd probably get that freaking Wizard of Oz Frank Baum if I
Ooh.
could get like the first edition.
Yeah,
of
that's a
that
good one.
one. That would just be
Yeah.
so cool. Or Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. Like, it
Yeah.
would be something from my childhood. I loved Alice in Wonderland. I loved Through the Looking Glass. I've read both of those. I love the Wizard of Oz. And then, of course, Frank Baum kept writing like a bunch in that series, but I've only read Wizard of Oz though.
What would you get?
I would get the Codex Gigas. It's an old manuscript book. It's massive. It's known as the Devil's Bible. And,
Damn!
Yeah. Here's a picture of it. Let me see.
That's dark GA if I ever heard of dark.
Yeah, it is. Let me see here.
Oh, dude, look at all that shit. I bet they got some spells in there and stuff.
How much does that cost?
Well, I don't know. It's in a museum somewhere, so I don't even
Dude,
know.
look how big it is compared to the guy turning the pages.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying. The thing's massive.
Something a little more mass produced.
Well, all right. What about the Book of Kells? Would you get the Book of Kells? I had.
I wouldn't get that dark. dark medieval type stuff is so cool. And these things are the ones that are handwritten and all hand drawn, and the borders and full page illustrations. One copy hand done entirely through by some priest who locked himself up in a belfry over the course of like 18 months and came down finally, and he had this book done. Those are the coolest ones.
I wouldn't mind
Book
getting
of
that
Kelly.
A. Winnie the Pooh, the Adventures of Winnie the Pooh with Ernest
nice
Shepard
ones.
on the illustrations.
I'd go
Kids
for
stuff.
I'd go for The Hobbit.
Oh, all right, the Tolkien
Yeah,
Ash.
that's a good one.
Very hard to come by. I think the first edition is under 3,000 copies or something, and it was 1937. So
Damn.
the first few printings, even the first through third printings, I think, are worth a ton because they're all before the war, and they're all before they got bombed.
I love it, DS cracking
You know,
a
in
code
Britain.
up, man. That's what I'm talking about.
So
Now,
The DC, not the
now,
DS.
Knights. That book you're talking about, the Hobbit
Hobbit.
first did that has come. I've seen that at a Christie's auction
Wow.
where they were doing books, and I was going to there about one of the Hemingway books. I think it was for Whom the Bell Tolls. I think is the one they were doing. Was there that I was interested in, signed copy, signed first edition. But I think The Hobbit might have been one of the top 3 sellers that day of as far as
Yeah, it's
people
like-
interested in.
if it's the first
I will say
through
that-
third edition, it's like 20 grand or more or something, especially if it has the dust cover.
Yeah, so here's
There's a
what is this one? Dracula, first issue Dracula that sold at Christie's.
ooh.
Nice.
First
What did they get?
edition.
Did it go above
How
15,000?
$8,100.
Ah,
8100.
man.
Wow,
not
but
bad.
show that again.
Well,
Yes.
the Mary Shelley Frankenstein hit 15,000.
How about The Hobbit? Find The Hobbit.
Well, I'm sure that's probably worth like 100,000. I'll look it up. But
I don't
I'm
know if it's
saying
that
like a
much.
first edition Dracula is cheap. I think. I mean, that's like a golden age book, and not even a massive one. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, it was the Delusions of a Drunken Irishman is what somebody, but it was, I mean, I read the story about Bram Stoker. He was really out there.
How about an
And,
Edgar Allan Poe book or something? Some of his stuff.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
those are a lot. Those are crazy.
First edition of The Hobbit. sold-
You got to go to Baltimore for those.
Get it signed, right, Knights? A signed Edgar Allan Poe. Oh shit!
Now, there's a
Hobbit in 2015 sold for $210,000.
What?
There you go.
Well,
There you go.
That was 5 years ago, and so.
210,000.
You have a first edition Dracula for $8,000, and then you have a first edition Hobbit for $210,000. I mean, those prices to me, I'm not a book dealer, I'm not in the book market, but just off the top of my head,
I bet you could find
there's
another
some
Dracula
laugh,
somewhere.
I think.
we had
I
we have
think
a
you'd find a
book
Dracula
a
that's
book
more.
dealer down the block. We have a pretty well-known bookstore here in town that deals in that stuff that has quite a few first editions, and they said that the Mary Shelley Frankenstein true first edition is one of the hardest to find. There is a second one, kind of like with a lot of other books. They've reprinted. There's 2 companies at the time, and when the U.S. company took over, Simon and Schuster is never going to be. It's Simon and Schuster is the one that you want, or Schuster, I think it was, and then there's one that is. It's like 1 and 1A. So, and it's a big difference in price. So, Mike, wanted to hear Great Legend put it up there. I love this one. He's got his Popeye the Sailor, which is great. I know I love that. Donald Duck. Who's your favorite Popeye artist? Is it my man?
It's got to be Carl Barks, man. Oh, Popeye.
No.
Oh,
Popeye.
it's Buzz, and I mean, I do have my E.C. Seeger hardcovers,
I was
and I
thinking
love the
E.C.
original.
Seeger.
But dude, I love Sagendorf, man. I love Bud
Okay,
Sagendorf,
okay.
and that was
I like
E.C.
Seeger.
kind of apprentice. You know what I mean? But dude, Seeger's good. Don't get me wrong. It's just so
Oh,
hard.
I love Seeger. Yeah.
But Sagendorf, man, one of the best.
It's Seeger introduced the Wimpy, right?
Yeah, he did. The Wimpy. Wimpy came along. It was those
And-
Thimble Theater
and-
strips, man.
And the second villain, not Bluto, Brutus.
Sea Hag. Oh, Brutus. Well,
Yeah.
that's a whole. We could do a whole show on that. It was a name. It writes with the name and stuff like that.
Yep.
So they had to change it to Brutus for the cartoons and TV shows. But yeah, it started out Bluto, then Brutus, then back to Bluto. I mean, it's been insane.
Hey, I have a question for you guys.
Yes.
I was listening to this podcast about original art, and they suggested that when you go for a Grail type piece, that you should always never be afraid to pay 30% more than what you originally think you're going to spend, because then you won't regret
It's one of a
missing.
kind.
Yeah.
I was just curious if that, what percentages would you guys agree with?
For just what,
For,
like the Grail book?
Like a Grail book, yeah, something that you know is super not going to come around for at least another couple of years or something. More.
The percentage wise, I don't know. Here's how I do it. I usually think, how much do I want to pay for this? And I have that, let's say, is $7,000. Okay. Now, when it comes up, I'll be prepared to go to like 76 or 77. So probably 10%, but 30%. I mean, if you're at $5,000, 30% is another $1,500. That's a lot of money to put on top. Like 30% is a big bump from like if you're saying 5 to pay 65, that's a lot. I probably do like 10%.
For me personally, I do it. Hey, Knights, I go 30% because I gotta have it. I gotta clam down that money. And even though I'm kind of crazy at times when I do some of that stuff, if it's like a Grail or like something that doesn't come around a lot, and I really gotta have it, I throw it down and slap it down. I slap the.
I like to go so high that if you don't get it at that price, you're damn happy you didn't bid more.
Yeah,
because
I don't know. I just feel like the books get so big that it's a lot of money, and it's like an investment to me. And at a certain point, I feel like there's other investment opportunities. No matter how much I love the book, I'll pass on it, man. I'm fine these days passing on books that I absolutely love, because there's other books I love that I can get. And it's, man, you put out too much money for a book, that's money that you could put on other opportunities. And at a certain level, they're investments. Now, in small books, like if a Bronze Horror comes up and it's like a 9.6 of a Bernie Wrightson, and it's, fair market value is 200 and the guy's got it for 350, I'll just buy it for 350. I'll go like 100% over, but it's a smaller type book. I don't really care. But when you start getting into the multi-thousand stuff, I'll just pass and find other opportunities, because there's nothing I want so much to blow my investment value out at this point. And that's sort of how I feel. I try to rein myself in on, because they're investments. I want to keep the value. I don't want to buy a book and have to wait 10 years to break even. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I have a really monetary aspect to it these days.
For my two Grails, Fantastic Four 1 and Wiz Comics 2, I got them at such great freaking deals in 2013. So, I mean, there's really no other Grail that I would really want. You know what I mean? It's all just kind of extra fun nowadays, Yeah. Ooh, look at DS right there. Look at that. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Damn.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? If I was,
first illustrated,
like
that's the first illustrated edition.
Yeah, but there's no dust cover.
Yeah, there
wasn't any back then.
Well, that's
I do have
thing with that Hobbit, dude. With that Hobbit, you could have it.
You can have it, man. That Hobbit. I mean, what do you think, DS? Hobbit. It's a good book.
I'll tell you what, check this one out.
Stole
for like $10,000
What is this one here?
for no dust cover. It's the Canadians. They're after me.
What you need if you want to.
Wow, look at that.
Third edition.
Yeah,
That's the third one, right?
Ooh.
Now, one,
$47.50.
Oh, that's a good Frankenstein.
That's
if
the
you
one
want-
Bernie Wright.
if you want a Frankenstein
Yeah.
that you're going to enjoy, not just the illustration, but there's the first edition,
Yep,
Frankenstein, 1983, done by the great
Bernie.
Bernie Wrightson himself. And
Are you going to show a damn signature?
Signed and numbered.
Oh my God! If you do, I'm coming over. to
signed
that.
and numbered.
Oh my God! over to that man's house.
Nice.
Oh,
So when you're a Bernie Wrightson fan, you need to have your favorite work of it. And I have a couple of the, I had the original sketch I asked him to do
It's
for me
awesome.
of that.
I've only
And
seen I've only ever seen
this-
that on Strain Blast channel. But you
this
got to
is word for word Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, just drawn by the great Bernie Wrightson in pencils. And it took him 7 years to do it, from 1976 to 1983 before it came out. And he said it was his greatest work he ever did. And even Stephen King said the same thing. So, and Stephen King does the forward, I think. Yeah.
Hey,
the
do you guys
introduction's
like
by Stephen
books
King.
like that where the artist does it as part of a, they do that at the release of the book or in the CGC signed, whenever, because something cool about knowing that you're getting when he made the book. It's like that time era. I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I
Like
love it,
there's
man.
Frank
I would
Miller
love to get some.
Dark Knight book hardcover
Mhm.
that he did that
Well-
he signed and numbered.
well-
I thought that was kind of cool, maybe versus
I
getting
love
a
that.
CGC book that he signed like
Yeah.
5 years ago when he's like not as cool.
Yeah, I'd rather have something like a numbered like first book or the first
Yeah.
little batch of books they do. Wow, look at that.
This
Let me
is
get that
another
on the screen.
Bernie
Nice.
Wrightson signed Frankenstein portfolio. This has all of it inside the envelope here. These came out in 1978. So before the book, you got this.
That's
Mhm.
cool.
So there you go. You got his illustration. This was something that they did, and each of them came signed and numbered right there, and they kind of go well together.
What about an LB Cole signature? I haven't seen any of those. Are there
Yeah,
anything?
I've seen a few. Most of the LB Cole signatures are personalized. He did some. They're out there. There's not a lot, but they're usually personalized. And a lot of them are on the inside interior on that first page. I think Jeff's not here tonight. I think he's got a Suspense 8 that is signed by LB Cole.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
He bought it already like that. I mean, he didn't get it signed, obviously, or it's not witnessed or anything. But I think he has one that has an LB Cole signature. And somebody else had one recently that they were selling, and it was like what was it, one of those like Jungle Terror books, I think, and it was signed on the interior by LB Cole. So they're out there. I'm not big on signatures. The only thing I would like for LB Cole, which I think Overstreet commissioned back in the 80s, you could buy an LB Cole recreation of one of his classic covers. You'd send in the money and you tell him what cover you want. And LB Cole would do the cover recreation for you for like $500 or something. And people did that, and they're out there. And those are super cool because it's like, I mean, that's as good as OA to me. It's even better for me because it's like a painting or a drawing by LB Cole of one of his covers, and you get to pick the cover back then to do it. And those are still out there. Those are real cool. I like those.
I do like books that you get a book and then you can get like the person to sign the book and maybe do a sketch in it. I got a Jerry Ordway Power of Shazam first printing, and he gave me that sketch I was in Baltimore. Yeah, he gave me that sketch for free of a side profile of Captain Marvel. And man, it was so cool. He told me that he always does when he sees those first prints like that, he always sketches in them for free. And I thought, damn, that was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Don Rosa. I got a good Don Rosa Uncle Scrooge in my Fantagraphics
Nice.
hardcover of the volume 1. So I love doing that. And especially JD, did you ever get to meet Bernie Wrightson?
Yeah, 1998.
See, I mean, that's what it's all about.
Nice.
Meeting those favorite artists that you like love their work, and you actually get to meet them. I mean, and it's getting harder and harder, of course. Well, it's damn hard to do that for Golden Age people.
Oh, they're gone. Yeah, I mean, we lost Alan Bellman. I mean, that was. I mean, of the early Golden Age, there are a few still around. Steranko.
All right, top 3 verified signatures of people who aren't alive today. Go.
Mine, you got to go with Stan the Man, right? You got to get a Stan the Man in there.
I have
got a
Bernie,
Bernie.
John Buscema. I've got enough. I have John Buscema
Doesn't have to
signed
be
on.
comic books.
Oh, okay. Let me think.
Well, I mean,
I just have a
J-
Bernie and I think a Stan Lee. I don't have a lot of
JFK.
big. You got a JFK signature?
I got JFK.
Shit.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
but
know.
that was a gift that my mother actually got it. She's not a JFK in Massachusetts in 1958.
Wow.
They were, yeah. My parents were on their honeymoon, and they were up in Massachusetts. And the book, it's his book, Profiles in Courage. Signed.
I got a Roger Staubach one. I do got Roger.
I'd probably take a Galileo or a Da Vinci would be cool because I love that old foundational science and astronomy stuff, engineering, all that foundational stuff. I would go with a Galileo or Da Vinci. I would like Ben Franklin. He was very enterprising in politics, in social life, as an inventor, in the formation of America. He was a crucial figure he was so multi-talented. I would dig a Ben Franklin one too.
Damn.
Since we're going way back, I mean, pick anybody, I would pick them. Those would be on my list.
I go John Lennon.
Yeah, that's good.
Gandhi.
Yeah, nice.
The Mahatma
and
Nice.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, that'd be freaking awesome. You got to get that Chris Barrett sig, man. Chris Barrett will sign something for you.
Yeah, but I was very happy to get I have a Buscema. I don't know. I've got about 15 at least signatures of him. I've got him. I mean, he did sketch cards. I've got artwork by him. I've got signs by him and like Wrightson. I collected that. But one of my favorite weird pieces. And I think I don't know if I ever showed it on Golden Guys.
Hey,
I showed
Legend,
it somewhere
are you
else.
going for a full Wiz collection?
Oh, dude, I could probably do that, but I won't do it. It's just too damn many books. I could do it. I just too much.
You got the hard ones.
I do. Yep.
My Fantastic Four Send Away Wizard.
Damn, dude.
By Buscema. Now,
that's cool.
This was part of a collection back in the day. If you don't know, you Sent Away to Wizard. You got it, and it's got all the certificates are here. But it's also, if you know this book, that's what it is. And I have his signature here. Here's the same signature on the Conans. Number. This is it's up at the top. Sorry.
Did you meet him?
Yes, I met him twice. Again,
Nice.
1998, and
Sometimes it's not good
1999. Back to back
favorite
years.
guys, though. Sometimes
He
don't
was
wanna
great.
meet.
The only
There's a few
disappointing,
guys you don't want to meet.
the most disappointing comic artist I ever met that was kind of an a-hole the first time I met him, but not after that. And it's not it would have to be Steranko. The first time I met Jim Steranko was at that con, and he threw a cup of coffee across the room at somebody while he was talking to me. I mean, it was a one of those like the Greek pillars are on the coffee thing, and he was just going in to sit down at his chair. It's about 5 minutes before opening, and I'm there with my friend who invited me. He was setting up. He was from Cosmic Comic. He goes, "Oh, come to the con, meet everybody early, get your signatures and stuff out of the way." And I went to Buscema's little table with it was John, Sal, and Roy Thomas was over there.
Wow.
Roy wasn't the nicest guy because that's who Steranko was throwing the cup at. Yep, there was outside was I used to smoke back then, and that's where I met Bernie Wrightson out there. I was out there having a cigarette, and so was he, because they just put the ban on smoking indoors, and he was furious about it. So
Roy answers emails. If you get his email, he's a nice. I mean, virtually, he's a nice guy.
I've met him since, and he was good since. I just think there was a lot of weird vibe going on. There was this whole thing, and then that's also funny story about the con too. I ended up having to buy Neil Adams Chinese food. That's why when I always say Neil Adams, I always say, well, he likes his Chinese food. I had to buy his Chinese food to get him to sign my New York Rangers hockey thing he drew. And I said, here, this is this. And he's like, all right. He goes, is there any good Chinese food here? And I'm like, yeah. So I had to go there, and he ordered, I forget what he ordered. I don't know, say low man. And he ate it, and he liked it. and he kept calling me over. He called, no, not Jason. So, but yeah, back then in the cons it was different. Well, Anthony Snyder and I, when Anthony was on here, we talked about it, about that exact con, and he was laughing. He remembers we were talking about the cons out east on Long Island, and like by Port Jefferson, and that's where John lived. Buscema lived in Port Jefferson. It wasn't that far for him to go to these cons. He was sick at that point, but still a 6 foot, I don't know, 5'6", 200+ pound behemoth of a man, you know. And then I have that's where I got those posters. Back then, I didn't get him to sign books. It wasn't common. I wanted the poster because it was 11 by 17 poster of the Silver Surfer and the Avengers. And he didn't have a Silver Surfer 4 poster. He had Silver Surfer 2. And that's the one that I wanted. And I think I paid $25 for the poster, the signature. Oh, it was 2 for $25. And I got the Avengers, one of the later ones, 50. The one after 58, Avengers 58, just signed, but big old signature on it. I mean, it's huge, big Sharpie, big signature. That was before slabbing and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't have that signed.
Damn, a 9.2 near mint minus, perfect.
Everybody wants me to crack mine open and get it graded again, but I'm happy with it 7.5. It's it's an old label. It's the Generation 2 label, and it's really it's never been pressed. But I'm never talking.
I love that CG. I love the new CG slab and label. Man, I love the new. I've seen the new CBCS slab. Their label needs to get. What's the deal? That perforated bullshit. They need a clean cut on their label.
Yeah, you know, I've got a few reholders from them recently to check out the slabs. I really like them. The perforated part's still there. It doesn't bother me, but I like it. The holders are good. They're solid. They're crystal clear. They're really nice. And the labels, I don't know. It's their style, and it's sort of low key. And it doesn't pop, but it's professional. And I don't know. I didn't like the labels in the old holders, but I think it was because I didn't like the old holders. On the new holders, they have basically the same labels, but they're nice. I like them now. So I don't know.
This is the old case, but the label, I mean, I prefer, this is my favorite label they've ever done, their newest label. That second label, remember with those like divots and stuff? It looked like I was playing Donkey Kong or something. You know what I mean?
Nice. New holders are good. I'm gonna send this to CBCS.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you why, because this is booklet sized.
Okay.
And when they slabbed my Buck Rogers booklet sized illustrated text story from 1933, they slabbed it. Well, I'll just get it. I'll show you. I really like what they did.
Dude, I love the Buck Rogers stuff. I have some like more modern Buck Rogers, but no old Buck Rogers. Wow.
Yeah, so they slabbed it sort of up in the corner, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
better, a lot better, like because the CGC centers it, don't they?
Yeah, and they didn't center it.
They did the same thing with ash cans. Yeah,
they moved it up under the number, under the grade, and they moved it up.
You are the man, because now I'm going to send my Rob Guillory farmhand ash can signed by Rob Guillory to CBCS. Thank you so much, DS.
Yeah,
I learn stuff from DS all the time, fans. Man,
so this thing they're going to slab the same way, obviously. So it just looks better when it's in the center and it has all that empty space around it. It looks hokey. Has
anybody tried CBCS's pressing service?
It just looks better that way.
I'm trying to remember. I did use CBCS for pressing, and you know what? They pressed pretty damn good. I mean, I think it's like $15 or something. I mean, it's probably cheaper to regular press it with a good presser, but they pressed the He-Man Thundercats crossover, the foil cover where it was all full. Man, they gave me some 9/8 on those, and of course I sold like the other two I had, but I kept one of them. I think they do pretty good. You know,
nice.
They probably do a lot better than that CCS. I know DS ain't down with the CCS, man.
Man, I'll tell you, when time comes up. The last time I used them, I sent them 15 books, and 3 of them they tore the covers off, and one of them was torn off and completely split, and two were near mint bronze Batman keys,
Mhm.
And one was a PCH book that was like a 6.0 range, which they tore the cover off and split it. So they ruined 20% of my submission, and that was the last time I ever used them.
Yeah.
I'm pressing my own stuff since then.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't recommend CCS. I've never used CBCS, but I'll tell you, I'm getting pretty backed up here. I've got stacks of books that need to be pressed, and I might just send
Send something
back
to 'em.
off to CBCS, have them press it and grade it. I'm not worried about the turnaround for all of it because I have plenty of other stuff to do, but it'll at least get some stuff out the door because I have one press. I'm very slow. I'm very deliberate. It takes me a while to press an entire stack of books. So I don't know. I might give CBCS a try just because of the volume I have to work. I can't do all these. It take me forever.
I might do the same. I think I'm going to do a. I'm not going to do CSS anymore. They did okay. They didn't do anything like they did to DSs. But the last time I used them, they came back with pebbling on the description. I'm like, that's what I paid you to get rid of. You know,
Yeah,
I saw it too. I saw pebbling on it, and I didn't have it there before. So my question to them was, how did I get pebbling if I didn't have it before, unless you pressed it wrong?
Yeah, you know where you get
And the answer I got was, we'll give you a $50 credit. I'm like,
whenever you see pebbling on a book, particularly if it's on the back cover, is from a T-shirt press. The bottom is that foam that has a pattern on it, and it's a hard foam, but it's soft-ish. And if you don't put something like a metal plate or something on the bottom, you press a book, it presses that pebbled pattern lightly into the back cover, and that it will show whenever you see that. That's when somebody's used a T-shirt press improperly. I bought a metal plate from Bottom Mine, so the top and the bottom is an aluminum plate.
Dude,
exactly I use
Mike,
a steel plate.
that nice metal plate that Captain Mike uses, that's the way to do it. And I love the press you have, DS, because I've seen some of that Captain Mike's work and some of his videos, and that thing does just as well as those Seal Jumbos and those 210Ms.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta look. Whenever you get some people think pressing is just a skill.
Yeah,
skill and an art. The art comes with whatever press you have, especially if you have a low end press. They're wonky in some areas, and you really have to learn your machine because they're not, unless you want to pay $2,500 for some high tech one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you get used to the feel, the pressure, the heat, the timing. It's not. They're wonky a little bit. Some things about them, the levers and the pressure adjustment. But if you get used to it, you get a feel for your machine, which I have, and you get an idea of how to press certain books with the machine you have, and that's where it becomes sort of an art. But you got to buy a metal plate for the bottom. You got to have Teflon or the silicone release sheets. You got to use the proper stuff inside the book when you press it. The proper amount of moisture. It's different for different kind of books. The different kind of pressure. I adjust the pressure, and I just sort of have a feel for when I turn that knob how tight it's getting depending on the book that's in there. So I mean, there's a lot to it, and I mean, you can make a not good press do excellent work if you adapt to it. So I get better and better all the time, and you can buy a low end press and it works.
That's awesome, man.
I just bought 1,000 sheets of that Uline paper.
Yeah.
Silicone paper to replace the ones that I got. I didn't like the ones I got. It wasn't textured, but it felt textured. So I went with ones that are completely smooth, silky smooth, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, you had the Teflon sheet. I don't like those. They're reusable. They're thick. They almost sort of have a pattern. The silicone release paper, you buy a pack of 1,000, and I just cut one in half each time, and I put one on the bottom, one on the top, and then you can reuse them if they don't have a lot of like denting or hard lines into them after the press. But usually I just throw them out because they're so cheap. And when I started pressing probably like a year ago, maybe a little more, I still am going through that pack of 1,000. I haven't pressed the 1,000 books.
I think I paid $80 for the 1,000.
It'll last forever, man. You know how long it takes to press 1,000 books? It'll last forever, dude. It'll last a long time.
Yeah. I'm very happy with that.
When did you get your press?
The one I have now, I got it about 7 months ago.
Have you been practicing on it?
Yeah, I've been playing it here and there. I mean, I did send a few in, and they had some stuff on there that I kind of learned a little bit about things. But like I have the steel plate down. I follow the I do the humidity chamber very well. Sometimes it's a little too humid, and that's something where I have such. I use the sous vide, which is a timed a sous vide machine to get me the temperature I want. So I tend to press and humidify the same temperature.
awesome.
The only I've heard that's. I mean, it could be semantics, but if I press a book at 135, I'm humidifying at 135. But you can do it at 80, 90. I mean, you can do it whatever one you want. I've tried the hand steamer. I like the hand steamer, but I do use tack iron as well. I have to admit that I use a tack iron on a lot of older books. But if I don't want to put it in the press, if I'm afraid of it possibly damaging the book, less is more. I think we all agree on that. If I think it's going to damage, if I put the full press down, I might just rub over a few indentations on the cover with a tack iron. I mean, I've got a whole.
Yeah,
all
that's
that
another
stuff is over here.
Like, yeah, like really low grade golden age stuff. I've pressed books like golden age stuff that's in the like 1820 range, and I haven't detached covers. And that's what I have never detached or popped a single staple yet pressing. And I've pressed some low grade rags, I'm telling you. And CCS is tearing stuff off mid bronze books. So if you use the right pressure and you set up your books right and the right type and amount of moisture, you can press anything. It's just you just got to do different for what the book needs. And for moisture, you know, humidity chamber is great for a book that has multiple pages or the whole book is warped. And what I do for humidity chamber, and a lot of people tell me they don't like this and I'm doing it wrong, is I just use tap water and I run it and I turn the tap on until it gets as hot as it's going to get. And then I fill a glass bowl with it. I put it in the bottom of the canister, well, not canister, the square container.
Yeah,
I put the tack over it.
Mm-hmm.
I put a piece of like cardboard down. It's like a thick backing board, sort of. I put that on top of the rack. I put the comic book on top of that. I don't put a towel over it, and then I seal it up. Now, I don't get a lot of condensation on the inside because I want the moisture and the water to stay in the air to get on the book. I don't want all that water to go on the edges and drip down and drip from the top.
Yeah.
It's the purpose if all the moisture is going out and condensing on the side. So I like to keep it humid where it's like foggy in there, but it doesn't drip anywhere. So I don't get drips on the book or down the sides. And I'll leave it in there for, 2 hours if it's only a little warped, or up to 4 or 5 hours if it's got real problems. And it comes out nice. Nothing drips. There's no drips on the inside. Just a nice fog, humidity, and it gets the book. You get it out, and it's got that nice, wet, damp feel all the way through, and it's great. But I don't use distilled water. I don't boil it. I don't put a towel over the book.
Yeah, I wouldn't boil water.
The moisture just goes on the sides of the thing and drips down.
Dude.
I don't know. That's how I do it, and it works. So maybe I'm doing it wrong, but for me, it works good. And I do that, and I get white pages. You know what I mean? If you can drink the water, if the water's good enough to put in my body, it's good enough for goddamn comic book.
Damn, that's a fucking quote, man. That's
what am I doing? I'm not a scientist, dude. I'm pressing fucking comic books. Like, if I can drink it, I can use it on comics. You know what I mean? How bad can it be?
God,
Exactly.
this show, man. You only get the best, and you're getting it here live from DS. Hashtag Dark GA. Hashtag pressing like he's messing because he is the best. He is DS. Sorry, I get a little too.
But if you want to use distilled water, I'm sure that's better for the books. Whatever. I still get white pages. I'll get white pages and use tap water. So
yeah, it's good, man.
Good stuff. One of the things about pressing, I will say that I've run into, I use a very similar humidity chamber. I have a baker's rack or a cookie rack. Inside a bowl, I have a Pyrex square dish that's filled up halfway with water. Again, I don't like the condensation. I don't use a towel. I use a towel myself just to clean it. But I replace the water every time. Dump it, replace, heat in there. But I use a baker's rack where it folds out and it goes there, and I put the heavy cardstock paper, or you can use a magazine backing board. It's the same thing. Large enough that it covers the whole book, and I place the book on top of it there, and I don't put anything on top of the book. I just put it below the book, and then if there's a fog in there, I know it's good, and I might leave it in there for an hour because it's higher temperature. It's not going to be tap water temperature, a little bit higher. I'll set it at 125 or 135, and exactly, and then it stays that temperature, and the tub is this big, the book is this big, but you need that big. You need a bigger tub, just because if you have a small tub, and I see people putting them in these small little tubs where the book doesn't it fits halfway through, that's where you're going to get a lot of that dripping and condensation stuff right there. You need enough space for it to move around the air, and a big distance between your book and the top is important if you have a small area. And I think that's
the only thing I would suggest.
my own advice.
There's people who do it and are more professional and more experienced and better than me. I get that. I'm just DS over here making books better, and they're not perfect. But in a humidity chamber, for me, it makes common sense. If you are seeing water condensing to such a high extent that it's dripping inside your humidity chamber, then the water's too hot. Yeah. Because that is humidity that is not humidity anymore. It's condensed. Because I think it's overkill. If you're getting drips on the inside, I think it's overkill. And that's just, the DS common sense observation. I don't have anything to back it up, but I mean, if it's on the sides dripping, then it's not in the air. So that's what I think.
I'm sending I've got a Bronze Age run ready to go. I have my pedigree run just about set to go. I'm excited about getting all those pedigrees out of here. Are you going to
try to get those black label pedigrees on the?
I am. Yeah. I am. I'm going to send him a bunch to relabel. I mean, I have the Western Pen collection. I've got 15, 25 books from there. No, way more. 25 books at least of the Western Pen, and another 10 of the Vanna collection.
See, those are all.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I think I have one here.
CCS would get a pedigree label. I'm not into pedigrees because I don't want to pay extra just because it was owned by one person in one collection rather than somebody else. I just want the book in whatever grade. But
these are all Western Pens here.
Different for pedigrees because they have pedigrees he doesn't have.
See, every one of these are the Western Pens with the barcode and everything from the original
collection, right? The Western Pen is known.
Yeah, it's known for. It's got a very scent to them. It's a very faint scent that it verifies it. But this one here might be 9+. It's 9+. Old 1973 Thor, 1970. This is a Savannah collection. This is Near Mint Plus. Again, they have the big thing on the back here. It's from Heritage, when I bought that run from there. This is one of my favorite little books right here. It's just a nice run. More Thor, Western Pens, Iron Man. And this is some of the Savannah collection, some really good Iron Man. And what a great, and of course, there you go. Great Nick Hardy, one of my favorite covers right there. Issue 28. And a Nova. This one actually has the sticker Western Pen on it, but it has everything on the back here. This is a Near Mint Plus. I don't know what that means. I've never opened this one up. I pulled it out. I've never heard of Plus.
Was great there. They have those 8.25s and shit.
Yeah, the pedigrees didn't use numbers. Yeah. I got white. It's a white pages. It's got codes.
I got a Don and Maggie.
Just some of the
first Paste Pot Pete. I don't remember which one it is though.
Strange Tales 104.
I got Grease.
All right, Strange Tales 104 is first Paste Pot Pete. I'm gonna know my Peter
CGC will recognize that as the Don and Maggie collection. Yeah, they'll put a label on that one for you.
That black label. I might do that. I'm going to be sending CGC some. I need to get them, some relabeling on there and some new cases on some. So I may throw in that Wizard or Paste Pot. I can't remember. It's either the Wizard or Paste Pot. I don't even remember. It's like a 9.2. It's some high grade of one of those awesome Frightful Four characters.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good stuff, man.
Peter Petruski, also known as the Trapster.
Yeah. Old Bentley.
But I'm a baseball people. Yeah. So I am interested in those black labels. That's just a few of them there. I've got some other ones in this one. I've got the early Tomb of Dracula Western pens. I've got I have the Defenders, like 4 or 5 of the Defenders, the like number 10. A lot of it's Thor versus another hero.
Mm-hmm.
All the if you saw the Thor versus Nova, Thor versus I have the Western Submariner Bill Everett's last cover. Submariner versus Thor.
Yeah, Thor versus Hulk is always a classic on any cover.
I have number 10. My Journey Mystery 112 is not a pen. It's just a standard 7.5 and or 7.0, and the other one being Defenders 10 would be the next one, and then there's some later ones. There's a 255 Hulk 255 and a that's about. And I only go that era. I mean, I'm not going to go to the modern ones when Thor versus Hulk on it. There's 385, which I have a beautiful copy of. Thor 385, that is. Thor 385, Hulk 255, Defenders 10, and Journey Mystery 112 with the main Thor versus Hulk covers.
Yeah, Journey 112 is one of my favorite. I mean, other than Jim 83, obviously first appearance, but aside from that, I think 112 is probably my favorite Journey issue, with Thor versus Hulk, and then probably 109 is Thor versus Magneto is probably my second favorite. Those are my 2 favorite Journeys, and I used to have both in like Raw VG when I was working on my Journey run, and I love those books. Those are real good. At some point I'd like to get a 112 maybe. I don't really collect a lot of superhero stuff, but there's some Thor stuff I like. That Silver Surfer 4 I showed is a preview of a book we bought that's on the way.
Oh, nice!
You got one. Good for you.
Some of that's a 9.2 white pager that I got coming. I like Thor, so I would get like a 9.0 range of 112. It's really not that expensive. That book doesn't go for that much, really. So,
this is a 9.2, never been pressed Western pen because I didn't know what to do with pedigrees. If you can do it, but this is obviously, when did I get this one done? 2006 was when this was slabbed, so I have dates on the back.
Yeah, I got an 8.
But there you go.
That's a classic.
Nice copy. Again, white pages is a signature, is very common in Western pen. It's not like, wow, it's a white pager. They usually are Western pens, but I do have my Journey was out the other day, but what's this one? Oh, these are the signed Bernie Wrightson ones here. I'm going through. This is stuff I might consider re-slabbing. Slab's got a crack down here in the bottom.
That's that second.
Didn't break the cell, but
slab there.
Yeah, these were flimsy. All hell broke loose on these. I definitely want to get this one because this is the highest grade in the census signed. I've got 30% of the first 10 Swamp Things of the highest grade.
Oh, so, damn.
Yeah, it was a side product. It was a product. It wasn't a lot. I mean, I'll tell you what I traded for it, and you're gonna laugh. People love that Carnage.
Oh my god, that 361.
Well, I also did an Ultimate Fallout 4, not the Djurkovic variant, but whatever. Yeah. But back then, everybody's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that." I'm like, it's a signed Bernie Wrightson.
Man, they love the moderns, but I love the moderns. I do a lot of digital reading though. The only moderns I really get is just Fantastic Four hard copies. Other than that, though, I try to,
get moderns. Legend. I've been seeing the the modern market, some of like what are the bigger moderns are really value-wise gone nuts lately. I was expecting that they were going to sort of fizzle out a little bit and you have these spec pop, but there's some that have gained steam and momentum have kept going. And I don't know. That modern market is another animal, man. I can't figure it out, but the values on those have been going nuts lately on
That
some.
Miles Morales, man, that UF4.
Yeah, and you know that Djokovic variant is, I think, selling for like $8,000 in a 980.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It is selling about $8,000. I see.
Now,
Put that on the
this
big-
one here, DF. If you're a Thor fan, this is my top 3 favorite Thor covers.
All right.
It's Thor versus Thor, with 3 Mjolnirs in there. You know,
God, 3 Mjolnirs.
it's just a great. I love the spinning hammer by Kirby.
Yeah.
Way more than I like it. No offense to John, but way more than I like John Buscema's spinning Thor. But
Kirby could spin that damn hammer pretty good.
yeah,
Man.
it was the Kirby kind of had this thing where he had the hammer centered or whatever, where John kind of had it much more in a blurry mode. I don't have one available right now, but even in the artwork, it's just spinning. It's not really focused on Mjolnir. And he drew it a little bit differently. They kind of all had their own shtick with that. Kirby, if you have a look at Avengers 2, he has it up in the air. Thor's going like this up in the air, spinning it in the air, and you could still see the handle. You know, even though you see the hammer just spinning around, you still see it's centered. So, great yellow cover.
Well, man, that was some.
Who won Thor versus Hulk? Thor won it in Journey into Mystery. Hulk won it in Hulk. And in Defenders, it was Defenders versus Avengers. It was a whole run. The best run of Avengers and Defenders was 1973. 10 issues, 5 of each. Goes from Avengers 118, 117, around that time, to Defenders 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah, in Journey 112, I mean, I guess you would say Thor won, but I think what happened is where they were fighting. I don't know if it was a fight or something else. I can't remember. It's been many years since I've read it, but the Hulk ended up getting covered with rock, like a mountain hit him or the whatever. He got covered, and he got out and escaped, and Thor couldn't find him, and Thor went on to do other stuff. So I guess Thor beat the crap out of him. They were fighting, and he was winning, and then the place collapsed on top of Hulk, and Hulk escaped, and Thor couldn't find him. So I don't know. Those two fight and they just wreak havoc wherever they are. Shit goes crazy.
You know, one where I want to get graded. I need to get. I have maybe 4 or 5 of 1 through 12 of the Fantastic Four that I need to get graded, and one of them's number 12, where it was like the first time the Hulk met the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
It's a great book. I think it's the first Thingiverse Hulk.
Yeah. And I'll probably be sending those to CBCS, but definitely I'm going to get them pressed and all that good stuff first. You know, that's a classic. I like Hulk or Fantastic Four 25. I've got that one where it's a good Hulk thing cover. That one there, is that 110 or 112? What is that number?
this is 112.
112. Yes, that book there. I have it in. Well, yeah, I've got mine in raw. I may send that one off. You know, I don't know. I've got so many of just. I got so many Well, you know, I got all of them. So there's just too damn many of them. I always slap some more of those bad boys.
This is the first Thor versus the Silver Surfer, and first Silver Surfer not in Fantastic Four. This is pre-Silver Surfer 1.
And that-
Maurice Severn cover. This
book-
is a good one.
Fire lately. That book has gone up in price crazy over the last 6 months. That is a really fire hot book, and I don't think people realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great book. Here's Journey 112. Here's my Journey 112.
Yeah,
Yes, you like that one. That was a classic.
yeah.
You got the Fantastic Four 112, and then you got the old Journey 112. You got 2 good Hulk battles.
Yeah, I don't have the 112 anymore though. I sold it. I sold it a few years ago when I sold off all my superhero stuff. But I do want to get some Thor stuff. This one I'm just keeping honestly out of spite because
I have that.
this thing is like a 9.4, and no joke.
That's
it's a
mine too.
There's stuff in the notes that are not here. There's no spine ticks at all. Pristine spine. The corners are good and sharp. There's a tiny amount of wear on this bottom corner. The back is clean and tight. I mean, this book is a 9.4, man, and they give me an 8.5.
My
I know.
idea on this book, when I thought I got it, when I looked at it, I was thinking 8.85. Your grade. I got a
Yeah.
6.
Yeah,
Now,
they're hard in that book,
Try to
man.
find something wrong with it. There's not a tick on it in any way. The only thing is there's a little bit of fading at the top of the where it says the greatest comic magazine. There's a little bit of rubbing, production rubbing, and that's it. There's not a tick.
on that one, man. The only book
It's white pages. It's white pages. It's beautifully white. I mean, it is. Even the back is white as white can
I'll tell you,
be.
I've had quite a few black covers, and I've had a few Silver Surfer 4s even, and they grade those easy. I don't know because it's a square bound. They go easy on those, honestly, and no joke. They go easy on the Surfer 4s. The only book that I've had that they grade harder than FF 112 for black covers is Amazing Spider-Man 28, the Molten Man, and I don't know that one. That's impossible. That one it's older, which makes it tougher. But that one they grade the hell out of that thing. But the FF 112, man, they hammer that book. It seems like all the time. And other black covers, the Submariner 8, they're not as hard on.
Submariner 8.
That's the
I've got
same
great.
book.
I have a great copy of that book, and I can't wait to get that slabbed.
Same year.
I want to hire.
But Submariner and the thing instead of the Hulk and the thing. It's the same cover. It's the same year. It's like the same exact thing, and they grade it much easier. I don't understand.
Hulk thing is much more red in that, and you don't see his blue eyes.
Yeah, he's
You don't
more red.
see Ben's blue eyes, and he's much more red. I have it somewhere here. Hang on.
That was the one that one got let go in an old Legends live auction back in the day. It's a good book though. Good fucking story.
Let's move over. There you go.
I'll tell you, I will buy an ASM 28 if I can find one in like 7.5 or better. I'll be all over that thing because as an investment book, that book is so hard to find in a high grade. Like 7.5 is a freaking high grade on an ASM 28. No joke. That thing is impossible. And it already, like, when they produced it, when it first hit the newsstands, it wasn't even all black. It had like, it was a crappy black. It wasn't even like a full black. It's hard to even find a good solid black of that. And it has that weird art on the front too. It's a weird cover, man. But that one's the 7.5 or up on that is gem. So I'll buy one at some point, but I haven't yet.
I've been talking to Mr. Gretzky, and we're talking about sending a bunch to CBCS. I got to go through my collection and see what I want to send. I got so much to send to him. Oh, I see that Surfer one in there.
Yeah,
got
Surfer
man,
one.
got the man thing there.
Where's Conan? Oh, here it is. Submariner.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so you want to show me and you together? You can see it's like the exact same thing, same year, and it's like one they grade like crazy. Yeah, you got both right there.
Yeah,
You got
Sorry
a great
about the glare.
look Submariner there.
Yeah,
Now I rebuy that book.
I mean, this is pretty good. There's one little tick right here, but other than that, sharp corners, and it's the same. It literally is the exact same year, both 1971. Yep.
Yes, 71.
And then this was 1972, and this is the one I was talking about. This is a
That's a nice one too.
That's so cool.
Bill Everett right here. Bill Everett cover, one of my favorites.
Everett's got those balloony sort of muscles that he draws.
Look at
Bill Everett.
Submariner's looking good, man.
Yeah, the muscles when he draws the muscles on heroes, they always have that really balloony sort of. I don't even know how to describe it, but the muscles really pop. They're very
HGH growth hormone back in the old school.
It is. It looks like exactly like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
All good things.
Yeah, I may just. I was saying in the chat. I may just crack this, not do anything to it, and send it to CBCS and see what happens.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool.
I mean, I think it's higher than a 9 in my opinion. I don't know, man. Whatever, but
I mean, this really shouldn't have got. I mean, when I got the graders notes, I sent you guys the graders notes. Remember, DS, when I got the graders notes on this, it just said slight smudging on top, white pages 6.0. I'm like, you took 3 points off for that, and it's not even like I did it. It's production. It's a black cover. It happens all the time on the top of black covers.
This one doesn't even have any fingerprints or smudges or anything. This one is clean.
This
So
one I would say is probably an 8.5, 8 to 8.5. I mean, I wouldn't give it an. I mean, I'm a hard grader, but you never know with them. They'll
Is
probably.
that book for a good amount? That one there.
I don't think. I don't know. I don't. The only reason I knock this book, the only reason I knock it, and this is just me, continuity. Ben Grimm has to have blue eyes.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, this one.
Blue-eyed Ben Grimm.
The price jump on this from 8.5 to like a 9.0 and then a 9.2 is where it really jumps up. So like this is probably like a $330 book.
Yes. Okay, so
A
I
9.0 is like double that, and then a 9.2 is like double that. So it's like if I can get a 9.2 on this, it's over $1,000, I think. So I mean, it's like 3 times the value for a 2 bump. So
dude, I love the old FF. My copy is probably a 9.0 raw, but I may have them try to press it and see what happens with the old CBCS crew.
it's worth. I mean, it's a classic cover, and it's a black cover, and it's like very early bronze. So it's a tough one. It sells good if you have a nice looking copy of it.
I do love, I love my Ben Grimm, man. I finally got these newer Funkos here. I love this character. I got the big 10-inch one in a box I haven't opened yet.
I just got my Thanos 10-inch.
Oh, you got a 10-inch Thanos? Damn,
I
dude.
just got it yesterday I went out to go buy. I was at Bed Bath Beyond. I needed a new pan. I need D3 all clad steel. Recommend you get it. It's worth it. And I went across the street to see this guy who's got a little shop. He said, "Hey, I got something for you." And he brought it out, and I said, "That's great." And he goes, $20. I'm like, "Okay."
Here, you want to see something I got? I'll give you I'll give previews of stuff later in the show where maybe only a few people might see it. It's like
nice
around.
Good.
Not a golden age. It's not silver. It's not even bronze. But it is a very tough book to find in this grade, and one of my favorite Dave Stevens covers.
Ooh, Space Vixens.
Vixens.
Damn,
Yeah, 3D glasses in here attached.
Oh my God.
Just a tough book, and it's a Dave Stevens cover.
Oh, nice.
It's he's got such a cool quality. You know what I mean? That's just such a fun cover.
A lot of times those kids would take the damn glasses out. It's hard to get the glasses included in 3D books too. That's freaking awesome, dude. That's so cool. You getting the sneak peeks here, fans, man. So you never know what folks are going to show on the Golden Gate.
And actually, if anybody's interested, there's a variant to this that is an absolute ghost. It doesn't have the Canadian price on it. It just says $250. The Canadian price is missing, and that's a variant, and that one's impossible. I'm not interested in getting the variant. I just wanted the book, 9.8. But that variant is impossible. So if you come across this without the Canadian, it's a really, really tough book. So anyway, yeah, Dave Stevens. I've got 3 Dave Stevens. Actually, I showed 2 tonight because I showed this one earlier.
Yeah, that was it. I was going to say you showed the movie star. Well, that's Dave Stevens there.
And I've got a Crossfire 12, which is the Marilyn Monroe cover.
There's one thing I can say about Dave Stevens. He's got some great initials, just like our man here, DS. Hey, man, that's synchronicity right there.
Yeah, and he's got Bub. Look, Bub is in the chat.
Yeah,
he's Googling this book, but he
is.
He's my go-to guy for Dave Stevens, honestly, because he's a huge Dave Stevens fan. He has far more knowledge and books of his than I do. But this has the back cover of this is taken directly from a title called Vanguard. So this was the front cover of a Vanguard title that Dave Stevens did, and they just used it for the back cover of this. But what's interesting is that was 1983. This is 1989, and you can see his signature on this one is straight across with the big S's, and on the back is signed like that.
Very cool.
So you got 2 different Dave Stevens signatures on this book, one on the front, one on the back. But yeah, just a killer book. This is this and Crossfire 12 are my 2 favorite Stevens books.
I was talking to JB last night. I'm thinking about doing a Legends Truth video on auctions and like what some of the ways that I used to do auctions or some of the things I prefer on auctions. Like the debate on whether, panel members on an auction could bid on the other panel members that are selling stuff. I'm not really down with that kind of stuff because you never know, but some of the things I was telling Discovery Bay about was two of the best auctioneers that could really sell the books just by their knowledge and their voices and stuff. Discovery, of course, is great. But another hidden gem is Bub's Comics. If you ever need an MC to MC your auction, get Bub on your auction because you can put that guy on QVC and he'll sell some books for you, man.
He emceed one of my auctions and he did a great job. I was just me and him.
I know. That's the first time I saw Bub on there. I was like, holy shit, this guy's epic, man.
He was like the color commentator, extreme.
He did a great fucking job, man. I always like, you got to have a good voice. You got to be able to sell some books and help, the auction shows out, man. Bub's one of the best on that I've seen, since, of course, the great legend himself, you know what I'm saying? But Bub, hands down, one of the best. Let me get that on the big screen. That's some Crossfire action.
Yeah, this is the other one I like the most, Crossfire 12. It's the Marilyn Monroe death cover.
So freaking awesome, dude.
It's just got such a his drawing quality is top notch, his artistic ability, but the way he draws it has such a cool feel and it's just got such a cool look, and it's just there's really nothing like it. It's really and it speaks of the 80s too. It really does. And yeah, so
that is awesome.
Really cool stuff.
That's a good looking Dave.
Has this book picked up a bit, DS?
I
First
don't know.
appearance of Living Tribunal?
I haven't really checked that out in a while. I
love the cover. I just love Maurice Severin's work on this one. She was probably up, after Steranko left and Ditko stopped doing the Doctor Strange. Maurice Severin kind of took the reins on that. And really,
yeah, I've tried to buy books when I can. I haven't come across like any Strange Tales at all in a while, and I don't know why. The only one I had was a Strange #1, sort of semi-related, but I haven't had any Strange Tales in a while, so I haven't really had opportunity to look up prices on them because I just haven't come across any.
This one here is getting kind of hot because everything with the Black Adams kind of blowing up.
Yep.
And this was a good read. This was a pre-crisis story of Earth S and Black Adam and the Billy Batson of just the regular Earth, but you got the of course, this guy from Earth S. I mean, it was a damn good story, and it's one of those early bronze. Well, it's 82. I can't say it's bronze or anything, but I mean, still one of the earlier Black Adam storylines in the DCU.
Yeah, I know nothing about Black Adam other than it's popular. So.
Yeah, it's rock. Everyone's gonna watch it. I mean, I can't wait for the movie. I'm freaking pumped. I'm hoping they do a great job on Shazam too, and we get some more Mr. Mind because, like I said, I got 3 copies of this book now, so I got to figure out which one I want to keep. I mean, the 5.5 CBCS, man, it's pretty good, but this 4.5 CBCS, I don't know, man. It looks really good too. So it'll be. I'll keep one and get rid of one. I just don't know.
Those grades are close enough that I would pick the one that looks better.
Yeah, that's me. I'll probably pick the CGC one because I think it looks a little bit. Well, okay, the back looks kind of shitty, but it's the back. So I don't know. I'll have to really go through them. I kind of like the CGC one because there's a little bit of a spine roll on the CBCS one. And, CBCS grades always, I don't know. It's just hard to tell. I don't know what to do. I'll probably keep the CGC one, though.
My experience, I think CBCS grades a little lighter than CGC. I know the consensus is that CBCS grades more strictly, but in my experience, and I've had a lot of CBCS books that I've cracked and sent to CGC, and they come back invariably the same or half a point lower. I never get from CGC. So I think CGC, if anything, grades a little more strict. But I'm fine with both of them. The only problem I ever had with CBCS was the holder was a piece of crap. But now they got the holders, so they're both equivalent to me. I'll buy a book from either one for the same price on the same grade. I don't care. I mean, I have enough experience with both. I think the grades are about the same. But if you're sending books in, there's some differences. Like CBCS will stick closer to the Overstreet for certain defects like detached covers, where CGC will give you a 4.0 and CBCS will give you a 2.5 for a detached cover. That's their maxes. And other stuff like incompletes or qualified stuff, CBCS don't mess with any of that. They'll just give you the grade it gets. So if you've got a Hulk 181 missing the MVS, send it to CGC and get the higher grade with the green label, or CBCS will just give you the 2.5 or whatever on it. So you got to know the differences in how they grade on certain defects. But generally for books, I think they're the same. I don't see a problem difference.
Yeah. I might even just keep both of them. I know I'm going to sell that 3.0 CGC, but I don't know. I might keep both of them for a while. You never know. We got to get Mr. Mind. He had the little teaser at the end of the Shazam movie. We got to get him, so that way I can give him to a new home,
Well, if DC can ever make some good movies, man, they got some characters that'll really take off. But I mean, man, I rent those movies every time they come out, and it's sad to say when Shazam was the best of them all so far. Do you know?
I know. It was
great, but it was a fun movie, and
I was the most entertained by it. Yeah,
like the Wonder Woman, the Justice League, the Batman versus Superman. Those are
maybe we'll get that Snyder cut.
Yeah, I want to see that Snyder. I did like that Batman that had Russell Crowe and Kevin Costner as the dads in there. I liked that movie.
Oh, the Superman. Superman.
Yeah, that was a good movie. But the Batman versus Superman, just too damn long. I think they could have cut that probably into 2 movies.
Martha.
Enough gone too soon. Yeah, and those fucking pearls. You know how I feel about
in the history of comic book movies, the top 3 biggest disappointments have been, in order, number 3 has to be the Hulk, the first Ang Lee Hulk.
Gone too soon, yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah.
Number 2 is going to be the Batman vs. Superman, for one word and one word alone, Martha. And the biggest disappointment I've ever had is still Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer.
All they had to do was put
Galactus in it and don't make him a cloud, and I would have been happier.
I'll tell you.
I mean, it was very campy. It's very campy now. I mean, it wouldn't live today. It doesn't hold up. It's too campy. And the fact that Doom takes his mask off and then back on.
The best campy comic book movie, and I freaking love it. It's in my top 5 all-time comic book movies, and nobody ever agrees with me. Nobody. You guys are going to laugh me right off the show. Is Batman and Robin with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze.
The Schumacher?
And the mindless Bane. Yeah, that
was
so good, dude. That movie is so campy. It's so good.
That the credit card? Doesn't he have a Batman credit card?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's Batman.
Hockey game. Cool.
He's with the diamond.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, that dude had some stupid lines. But what
it's so campy. It's so good though.
Yeah. To me, it was like the disappointing factor was I waited so long to see the Silver Surfer on the big screen, and Doug Jones did a good body type, and Lawrence Fishburne did a good voice, and that he was the best character in the whole movie. Everybody else was subpar. But all you had to do was have the Destroyer of Worlds show up, and they also screwed up the whole continuity of the whole. If he loses his surfboard, he loses his power. That's not true.
Yeah. Well, that was was that a Warner Brothers film or something? Who did that?
Tony Scott.
Yeah. I mean, I like it because it's a fun movie, but it's not.
It was 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
20th Century Fox. Yeah. They did the X-Men movies too, didn't they? The early X-Men.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think they were just putting out the movies, and I mean, everybody's like, "Oh, Chris Evans was in it." Well, Chris Evans was nothing at that point. And Chris Evans wasn't even, he did not another teen movie and then the Fantastic Four. So, but I mean, the first Fantastic Four movie I enjoy. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of Jessica Alba as Sue Storm, though.
I think the worst Marvel movie for me is probably Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage.
The second one, Spirit of Vengeance, unwatchable.
Both of them. I mean, I think both of them are bad.
I like Sam Elliott when he did the Cowboy Ghost Rider.
Yeah, he did Curtis Slade. I mean, technically, I guess
it's that Cage style, man.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Yes. Well, JD, man, I got to get.
Great one. We're gonna close up shop right now. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Next week we're gonna have Anthony Snyder on the show, on the program. We're very excited about that. We're gonna have a topic, and we'll have a spinner rack at that point. Knight's gonna be on that. Hope you enjoyed us. We kind of mixed it up a little bit tonight, just because we had a holiday weekend and everybody's kind of getting their back in there, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on. So thank you all for being here. Once again, thank you all for being a friend, and do yourself a favor, enjoy yourself. Have a good one.
See y'all later.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true,